Thank you, Phyllis. That was lovely. And welcome to Unity of Bloomington's streaming Sunday service. Here we go. We're going to start out claiming our blessings.
Get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start my day, knowing good is on the way. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. With conviction undeterred, power of the spoken word, take my life and redefine. Break the shackles of my mind. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I lift my thoughts to higher ground, knowing miracles are all around, and being controlled just as it should. When I'm focusing on my good, life is filled with opportunity. I wonder what good will happen for me. Ooh, I claim a blessing. 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 Ooh, I claim a blessing.
Yes, I hope you claim that blessing with us this morning. And part of claiming that blessing is knowing that everything we need to know is right here.
Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to be at peace about what lies before me. Everything I need to be at peace about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me.
Yes.
Woo, thank you so much, music team. Great way to start out on a cold winter's day. Good morning, my name is Devta, and I'll be your service leader for today. Please join me in affirming our statement of being. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. This power expresses life, love, wisdom, and abundance through me. In it I live and move and have my being. Welcome to the Unity of Bloomington live streaming service. We extend a special welcome to those of you who are participating with us for the first time. You can find us both on Facebook and YouTube, and if you're watching on YouTube, please click on the subscribe button so you never miss a minute. You can find the links to our streaming services on both of these platforms, as well as the homepage of our website, which is unityofbloomington.org. While there, you can also sign up for our newsletter so you can stay in touch with all of the wonderful things that we're able to do even in the middle of a pandemic. At Unity, we offer practical spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. We are a center for spiritual growth, and we provide inspiration, tools, and practices that support people on their path of spiritual growth. And now we'll go through Unity's 5 principles. I'll say the first part, and you respond with the 2-word affirmation. Ready? God is absolute good, everywhere present. God is. We have a spark of divinity within us, the Christ Spirit within. Our very essence is of God, and therefore we are also inherently good.
I am.
We create our experience of life by the activity of our thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought.
I create.
Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, wholeness, prosperity, and everything good.
I pray.
Through thoughts, words, and action, we live the truth we know.
I live.
And I'll now invite Reverend Lynn for a moment with our children.
Good morning. Hello. Well, as usual, we don't have any children here this morning, but I am going to teach you something, and everybody here has agreed to stand in for the kids. You'll have to tell us kids if they measure up. This is 12 Powers by memory, and I actually made this up when I was at Unity Village the first or second time. We have been talking about the 12 powers and will be for the rest of the year. We're going to do one each month. Isn't that nice? The numbers come out even. And I think it's a good time to commit them all to memory. And humanity found out millions of years ago that when we sing something, we remember it better than if we just say it. It gets stored in the brain differently. So this is a picture of all 12 of the powers, and that's a lot to memorize. So we're not going to try to do all the details, but we're going to get the names of the powers. So if we could bring up that slide, I want to say these in rhythm with you first, and then we're going to do it slow to the melody, and then we're going to sing it up to speed. And I am really looking forward for the end of this year when we're done with all of the 12 powers. We'll all be together here, and we can sing this song together. So this is something you can practice at home. This is a beat, and it helps even when you're saying it to do it to the beat. Is that messing up my mic, Andy? Okay. Faith, strength, wisdom, love, and power imagination, understanding, will and order, zeal, elimination. Life. You got to do that, kind of tack that on at the end. Okay, that was great, by the way. Thank you. All right, now, cue the pianist. Phyllis is going to help us out. This is to the tune of the verse of Yankee Doodle. And we're going to do it at about that same speed, okay? 3, 4. Faith, strength, wisdom, love, and power, imagination, understanding, will, and order, zeal, elimination, life. There's no note for that last one because you kind of shout it, so it's like a cheer. Oh, my ear stopped up during that rendition. When you get to, because everything fit but that one little syllable where I didn't know how to write, so I went with, but it really is better if you go with imagination. Just a little bit of borrow from rap, okay? All right, now we're going to do it up to speed, and Phyllis is going to lead us. 2, 3, 4. Faith, strength, wisdom, love, and power, imagination, understanding, will, and order, zeal, elimination, life. Thank you very much. Now, we have one more slide. You're invited to write a chorus for our song using the tune of the Yankee Doodle chorus, which is da 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 da. But it should be something about the 12 powers. So that's your assignment. Give it a try. We have till the end of the year to finish this, so it's no big hurry. But I'd be delighted to see what you come up with, and you can email it to the address that was on that slide. Thank you.
I like to taste the sunshine. I like to smell the wind. I like to feel the earth move. I like to be a friend. I like to hear the rainbow singing the color blue. I like the fact that I like someone like you.
Thank you. So we've got a creative challenge. I like it. In 2021, Unity's annual theme is how to stay centered no matter what. Each month, we'll explore the role that one of the 12 powers that we just sung about plays in staying centered and achieving inner peace no matter what is occurring around us. Our power this month is faith, which is the lens through which we view the world. By faith, we envision what is real and true, even in challenging circumstances. Though the path may be unclear, by faith, each step becomes more certain. We are steadfast and unmoved, anchored by faith, confident that our highest good will come to pass. We trust and know that all is well. We acknowledge external conditions, but we are not bound by them. All that God is, we are whole, well, and complete, lacking nothing. By faith, we expect the best and receive nothing less. Faith is our true nature, our spiritual power of perception, conviction, and expectancy. My faith assures me that every event in my life has meaning and brings gifts of peace, joy, beauty, harmony, and love. Please join me in claiming this truth as our own. Together, my faith assures me that every event in my life has meaning and brings gifts of peace, joy, beauty, harmony, and love. A few announcements this morning. Grab a cup of coffee or tea and come say hello to your Unity friends online after the service this Sunday at our online coffee hour. You can join the Zoom meeting after the service from our Facebook group under announcements, or go to unityofbloomington.org and scroll down until you see the link below those used to connect to the live streams on Facebook and YouTube. You should also see a link in the comments on this video that you can cut and paste in your browser. And finally, please mark your calendars. Our 2021 annual meeting is scheduled for Sunday, January 31st. That's this coming Sunday, a week from today. The meeting will be hosted on Zoom. If you're a member, you'll receive a postcard in the mail for you to fill out and send back. Please read your email newsletter to keep up to date on any details. And now it's time to read the daily word. We are reading from Saturday, January 23rd. So if you're following along at home, please turn back a page. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, settle into whatever you're sitting or lying on and allow that to support the weight of your body. The word for today is faith. The affirmation is, I let go in faith and trust my spiritual source. Faith is the power that frees me to let go of personal control. I don't have to manage my own way through everything. A wise grandmother once told her grandson, "Don't boss the job." She was telling him to trust his indwelling spiritual power. The perfect power of his divinity would direct him to the perfect outcomes. His only call to action was to yield to that power. As I yield to my spiritual source, I trust my highest and best outcomes are unfolding for me. With faith, I surrender and find myself guided in ways that may surprise me. I release my need to have everything figured out in advance. Calling upon my faith, I trust in the perfection, intelligence, and love of the divine. From 1 John chapter 5, verse 4, for whatever is born of God conquers the world, and this is the victory that conquers the world, our faith. And now we'll join together in speaking the affirmation aloud. Together, I let go in faith and trust my spiritual source. And now repeat it to yourself silently. I let go in faith and trust my spiritual source. I now invite our music team to bless us in song.
In heavenly love abiding, no change my heart shall fear, and safe is such confiding, for nothing changes here.
Thank you so much, music team. Those notes are so triumphant. We are truly blessed as a community. Our guest speaker today is Reverend John Spain. With a thorough grounding in mainline Christianity and a degree from United Methodist Seminary, John speaks with a voice that respects tradition, while including 21st insights into human nature and motivations. His sermons and essays, while not explicitly partisan, it won't take you long to discern his party preference, are almost always political in that he seeks to find connections between biblical teachings and the current issues of the day. A deep introvert, he prefers to spend more time listening than speaking, while always looking for common ground on which to build relationships. John, his wife Joni, and their dog Toby have lived in Monroe County since the spring of 2016. During the pandemic, they enjoy driving the back roads of southern Indiana to find out, where does this road go? They look forward to a time when they can exit the Zoom rooms and resume visiting with family and friends face to face. A hope that we all are looking forward to. Please help me welcome Reverend John Spain.
Good morning. I realized that it was about a year ago this time that I first spoke here to you, Unity of Bloomington. And I recall that at that time, we were looking forward to a very interesting year in 2020. Unfortunately, it's turned out to be far more interesting than I think any of us had planned. And if anything, 2020 turned out to be a test of our faith. Our faith in each other, our faith in our healthcare system, our faith in our government, our faith in the manufacturers of toilet paper. One way or another, we do all live by faith. Taking a cue from NPR, I do feel like I need to offer a trigger warning. My heritage and background is the Baptist Church, and my understanding of the Bible is filtered through that background. And in talking about the Bible today, I want to apologize in advance because I may use words and expressions that might evoke unpleasant memories or traumatic experiences that I know some of you have had in church. As a member of the clergy, I feel like it is my job to apologize for that and to own it and to take responsibility for it and to suffer along with you for the harms that have been done in the name of the Bible and the name of God, because they are too numerous to reiterate. Faith, what does the Bible say? The graphic on the screen depicts someone standing in front of a maze, and the lighting suggests that that individual is about to enter that maze. This particular graphic caught my attention because in so many ways it represents a lot of what I hope to talk about today. The Bible is a tricky thing to approach, perhaps, and it might appear to some as a maze. The many choices that we are confronted with in life also seem a bit of a maze. So here we go. The reading that Dave gave us earlier reminded me that today, this presentation is for me a personal act of faith. It's the first time I've stood in a pulpit and talked to an audience without a script. So joining the legions of unscripted television programs, here we go. On some level, I have no idea what I'm about to say. When I started preparing for this message, I did what I often do. I started by turning on my computer. I went to one of my favorite websites for Bible study, thebiblegateway.com, and also did what I often do in starting a presentation. I did a word search. I wanted to know how many times does the word faith occur in the biblical text. And in the translation I was using, it occurred 529 times. Now, much to my surprise, the word faith, the noun, doesn't occur all that often. The majority of the occurrences are the words faithful and related words like unfaithful or perhaps even faithless. And so it occurred to me that the one reason for this may be that faith, the noun, the concept, the philosophical proposition, if you will, can be a little difficult to talk about and really not very interesting to read about. And what the scriptures do, instead of addressing faith as a philosophical treatise, they tell us stories. Stories about people who were faithful. Stories that illustrate what it means to live a life of faith. Stories about the outcome of those occasions when people step out in faith. So I don't know if I'll address all these points that I put up on the slide, but just to kind of preview what I'm about to say, faith is certainly about and relates to the decision to follow God's leading, to listen to the still small voice that speaks to us, to let that God mind manifest through the things we say and do. And I don't know about you, but whenever I'm facing that maze that life presents us, whenever there's some uncertainty about what's about to happen, I know that what I really want is reassurance and assurance. And one more, there we go. Halt right there for a moment. Back one. Okay. And what I really would like is assurance. But what faith offers is the assurance to act without the assurance that we think we need. So let's go on and talk about a couple of characters of faith that are cited in the Bible, not only in the original narrative, but also in callbacks throughout the scriptures. Abraham. The call of faith of Abraham. The story tells us that Abraham and his wife Sarah, actually Abram and Sarai, were living out the last years of their life. They were old, approximately the age that I am now, possibly older. They were a prosperous couple. They had flocks and possessions and were living somewhere back in the ancient Near East. Abraham received a call from God that simply said, "Go from your country and your kindred to a land that I will show you." I don't know about you, but I would like to have a path a little more clearly laid out. I want turn-by-turn instructions like I get from my GPS navigator. I want to know, turn left at the stoplight, 700 feet ahead. But the call of faith is a little less precise than that. So not knowing where to go, where he's going, and not knowing what will result, God offers a promise to help steer and guide their path. And the promise is very simply this: I will make of you a blessing to all nations. And specifically, he promised to give Abraham and Sarah children, something that they had gone throughout 75 or 80 years of their life without. Didn't seem possible, but they decided, no matter what, we will follow. And what was Abraham's response? Abraham and Sarah. They packed up their bags, and headed out into the unknown. I'll pause for a moment here to talk a little bit about the Bible. I realized a few years ago that I had never read the Bible. And this is only like 5 or 6 years ago, actually. What I had done is read parts of the Bible. I had studied parts of the Bible. I had explored them down to the finest detail of meaning. But I'd never read the whole story, beginning to end, the way you would read a novel. In so doing, I did find some interesting things. Many parts of it we don't study very carefully because they're kind of boring. You see catalogs, detailed instructions, the laws and the traditions. But one thing you see over and over again are genealogies, the begats. Abraham begat Isaac, and so forth. And so while it's not interesting to read per se, the question is, what's the message that's being conveyed by retelling these genealogies? And the message is, you are part of this story. You have been named according to some of these characters, perhaps. You share experiences with these characters you're about to read about. So as you read the Bible, find yourself in this story. Now, our temptation is to find ourselves as the hero of the narrative, but the real call of faith is to say, look at each character. Look at those who follow and look at those who are unfaithful. Look at the consequence, the rewards, and the punishments. Because somewhere in there, some or part of you is in every one of those characters. So we get a call to launch a career, to enter a relationship, to start a new job. And we're not always going to know how that's going to turn out. Our faith is what gives us the confidence to take those steps into the unknown. The call of Moses. If you've seen the Ten Commandments, that Cecil B. DeMille epic, you've seen one account of the life and call of Moses. Well, let's take a look at what the scriptures record when Moses encounters a burning bush. The call of Moses went something like this. He's out tending his flocks. Actually, it's the flocks of his father-in-law, Jethro. And he comes upon a burning bush. And out of that bush, he hears the voice of God. And the voice of God said, "Come, I will send you to Egypt. I will send you to Egypt to bring my people out of slavery." And Moses' response, I paraphrase rather loosely here, was, "You can't be serious. Me? You want me to go and challenge the Pharaoh?" And God said, "Don't worry. I will be with you. And this shall be a sign for your reassurance. When you have done all these things I've asked of you to do, you will return here and worship me again on this mountain." Well, that's reassurance of some sort, I guess. It's a reassurance that we will find in the future. And 15 chapters later in the book of Exodus, Moses does exactly that. He comes back to Jethro, comes back to Midian, and receives guidance and counsel from Jethro on how to proceed, takes his wife and kids, and heads off to the promised land. So let's go back to the last slide for just a second, and we'll just rest here for a moment. When God called Abraham, God established a covenant between God's self and the people. He said, "I will be your God, and you will be my people." And the rest of the story is the story of how this unfolds. The people are faithful, the people are unfaithful. The people return to God, the people prosper, the people are challenged. And it tells us that life isn't always going to be a smooth path. But the scriptures ask us to keep looking back on that story, to keep looking for the hand of God as our lives unfold, keep looking for reassurance of our faith so that we can turn forward and act with the reassurance that God has been with us, God is with us, and God will continue to be with us. If we're faithful to our commitments, to our relationships, to the teachings that we follow, that these will lead us to a promised land. And that promised land may not be the promised land that we envision, but it will be a promised land, a place of blessing, a place of prosperity, and a place of well-being. So we are people of a tradition that is unafraid to step out into the unknown. We are people who learn from our past and carry those teachings and that wisdom forward into the future. I have a couple of quotes I think I'd like to use. Let's skip ahead, way ahead. One of the things faith calls us to do, as we could see in the call of Abraham and Moses, is to act, to get involved, to take a stand and take a step. So I went looking for the exact statement of a quote that Dr. Martin Luther King made years ago. And when I typed in those key words, I came up with this. These are the words of Theodore Parker, who in the early 19th century was a Unitarian minister. Early in his career, he was an activist working for the reformation of the church and the refinement and expression of the tradition of the Unitarians. But at some point, he became more interested or caught up in the abolitionist movement. This would have been in the mid-1840s, 1850s. And he said this: "I do not pretend to understand the moral universe. The arc is a long one, and my eye reaches but little ways. I cannot calculate the curve and complete the figure by the experience of sight. I can divine by conscience, and from what I see, I am sure that it bends toward justice." And of course, Martin Luther King was condensed this down to the notion that the arc of history is long, but I know it bends toward justice. And later, more recently, President Obama has reminded us of this fact. However, we also need to be mindful that the arc of history may be long and bend toward justice, but the outcome isn't guaranteed unless people of faith get involved and help bend that arc toward justice. So today, as we prepare for meditation, let us remember that faith is the impulse we have, the inclination to listen to that still small voice of God, the ears through which we hear that still small voice of God, and the actions that we step out into the unknown, prepared to live as the voice of God in the world.
In this and every moment, I am safe and all is well. In this and every moment I am safe and all is well. I am held, I am whole, I surrender to it all. I am lost and let go, then I know that all is well. All is well. In this and every moment I am safe and all is well. In this and every moment I am safe and all is well. I am safe and all is well.
As we prepare for meditation, I would ask you to take a deep breath. And in becoming aware of that breath, know that as you take that breath and are aware of that breath, you've already been given your next one. And as we stand in front of that maze, that can be life sometimes, I recall the words of Patrick Overton when he said, "When you walk to the edge of all the light that you have and take that first step into the darkness of the unknown, you must believe that one of two things will happen. There will be something solid for you to stand on, or you will be taught how to fly." So as we stand on the solid ground of our faith, let us also spread our wings and take flight into the unknown.
grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you. And thank you, Reverend Spain. I think that was your best talk ever. Relying on faith. We turn now to the spiritual practice of generosity. We are blessed and we are grateful for the many ways the center supports us in our spiritual growth. And we, in turn, are happy to support the center with our financial contributions and our voluntary service. We're also grateful to those who have already put in place automatic weekly, monthly, or quarterly giving. Today, if you feel led to give, please visit our website at unityofbloomington.org and click on the giving link. You can also place a check in the mail, and our mailing address is Unity of Bloomington, 4001 South Rogers Street, Bloomington, Indiana, 47403. I now invite you to place your hands over your heart as we say our abundance affirmation. Together, I am an abundant being living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. At least 100 ways for me to receive. And I embrace my good, and I do believe. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. At least 100 ways for me to believe. And countless blessings that I now receive. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. My good is coming to me. My good is coming to me.
I love the cha-cha-cha at the end. We bless these offerings that have been received and are on their way with these words. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Today, we'll close our service by affirming that we are here to express the activity of God in the world. Please join me in declaring this prayer together. We are here to glow as the light of God. We are the light of God. We are here to embrace as the love of God. We are the love of God. We are here to stand in truth as the power of God. We are the power of God. We are here to radiate as the presence of God. We are the presence of God.
Wherever
we are, God is, and all is
well.
And now I invite you to join us in singing together, and I imagine you all standing and holding each other's hands. Let there be peace on earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you. Have a great week.